Well, welcome. Thank you all for being so patient with us. I know we're starting very, very late in the schedule. I know that in the shortest time, we would have gained so much. A whole lot of work has gone into the program as a whole. All three programs, let me put it that way. Blessing Yogo, let me start with that, COO of ABCL. Of course, I have with me my colleagues here. We shall take time to introduce ourselves so that we can get to know ourselves more. Like I said, it's a very, very small gathering, but very effective. I want to welcome all of you, our partners here, our stakeholders. We're so happy to have all of you here with us. You've all been at the fore of seeing that this program is out there. It's taken a whole lot of years, and we're getting there. Of course, can't always say we've gotten there. It's always another milestone. So we've reached another milestone, and we felt the need to really share this with you all. We're excited about where we are today. Love you, of course, for exposing you to where we are so that you key in, get others to key in, so you have a full knowledge of where we are with the Hectare Programme, of course with the REVAAMP program, and also with Leadership4Leadership. So this is an opportunity for those who are probably just under the Hectare Programme to now see ways in which they can key into the other program, basically. They nearly have like the same mission, sort of, in terms of empowering others, in terms of work creation, in terms of value reorientation. It is spread across the three programs, but of course they are unique in the way in which we're doing this. When it comes to real estate, when it comes to agriculture, and when it comes to e-commerce, and we see how all of this sort of comes together. So we're everywhere: agriculture, real estate, e-commerce. What else? So it's good to have you once again in our midst. So, like I said before, I'm seeing you, founder and chairman of ADCL, here with us, taking us through the whole program, basically. Briefly, before we go into our app, we have our designer here. Is that what they call it? The technical person, the person behind the app. We'll be having a demonstration live here today so that we can all key into it and start working with it, basically, and getting all the benefits from this new development. So without much ado, I'll be calling on the founder and the chairman of ABCL. He's a lawyer for many of us that do not know. I'm seeing a couple of new faces here. Mr. Oji is a lawyer. He's over 30 years at the bar. His forte, of course, is real estate. Agriculture is on real estate. I'm sure we know that. Property, so real estate. There's so much we can do in real estate. And of course, he also has a passion for people, for young people, for the youth, and that's why there's the social content, the social aspect of everything that we do. So help me as I make welcome Mr. Chijuke Oji as he takes us through the program.
Thank you. Just like Blessing had mentioned, we're going to anchor, we're going to start with the Hectare by Hectare program. But I'm also going to give you a summary of the other two programs. They are all related. The major mission for all the programs is to promote employment, wealth creation, financial inclusion, general public awareness, and value representation through agriculture and agribusiness. The same thing for real estate, the same thing for e-commerce. You will see how they all converge. But this is the major, program. The other things will now build on. So we'll just share the brief summary and highlights of it. As you go on, you'll begin to understand more. So basically, what is central, just like I said, is to help to solve the unemployment problem and wealth creation. And when you see value reorientation here and general public awareness, you will see most of us, all these problems we're going through in the country, a lot of people don't seem to know that the biggest cause of it is mindset. That's the anchor of all the problems. Every other thing is because we are not thinking well as a people. So what I drew inspiration from what Christ did when he fed the multitude. He wanted to minister to them, and he realized that when people are not well fed, they wouldn't even be able to listen and absorb whatever you're saying. So that's why we are trying to use this program, first of all, to empower people. When we put money in your pockets, then we can now minister, especially for the young people. Because if the mindset of the people does not change, the society will hardly change. You could find a lot of support from the Bible that my people perish for lack of knowledge. So that's how come you're seeing general public awareness and value orientation, because a lot of people have spent so much money on unnecessary things. And I keep telling people it's much easier to make money than to keep it. It's not easy to grow money. For some of you here, if I give you a whole lot of money, you may not be able to know how to turn it around. That's how come a lot of people go to the bank and put, what they have for the banks to now turn it around for them. Just pay them little interest because they don't know how to invest that money. And it's a challenge. That's why the apprenticeship scheme. If you look at the apprenticeship scheme, Igbo people, you spend 7 years learning how to trade, how to manage money, the discipline. Because there's a spirit behind money. If they give you 10 million now for somebody who has not done anything, you'll be so shocked how that whole money will disappear. So we are saying that we're using this program to empower people, but we're also now teaching you how to manage your money and grow it, and how to, change the way we are thinking. I tell a lot of people that some years back, a couple of years back, I decided not to buy anything that is foreign, that can be produced locally. The shoes I'm wearing are made in Abba. You understand? It's something I'm matching on the ground. But one of my friends, too, said, look, this thing will spoil so easily. I said, if it's spoiled, so what? It's not so expensive, so I can buy another one. But I would have added value to that person who is building the shoe now. For something I'll match on the ground, it will be so shameful that we cannot make such a basic, ordinary thing. There are certain things that are sophisticated, we can't do anything about it. Like your phone, the aircraft, we will give it to them. But not things like shoes that are so ordinary. So when I create empowerment, I will now have, or we will now have the moral right to begin to teach you, things of the mind. So 6.5 years ago, I said to myself, I need to do something very impactful. It's not just, because when I was in law school, one of the things our DG used to tell us is that every lawyer is a social engineer. And law is an instrument for development of society. Because some of you here, when you hear a lawyer, what comes to your mind is just going to court. But that's a minor aspect of what lawyers do. Law is an instrument for development of society. And everything we're doing is all founded on law. Whatever all of us gathered here may have done before. Everything, the society is organized by law. Your community is organized by law. All those things that when you do something and there are penalties and all that, is all law regulating your community. There are obligations to things that you do wrong. So it is law. So every lawyer should now use his legal knowledge to solve societal problems. So 6.5 years ago, I saw that for me to do something impactful, I should look into agriculture, because everybody eats every day. So it is something that everybody is involved in. So what we have done is to now disrupt the normal existing system of agriculture and how the food is distributed, and now plug in our own system. so that we can now use it to basically make everybody get, action out of it. So that's what it is. Because right now, contrary to your beliefs, the biggest problem in agriculture is not farming. The biggest challenge is market. All of you seated here, now if I give you money to go and farm somewhere, your biggest headache, because if you plant anything anywhere to grow, you will harvest. But how do you sell it? If I give you 3 trucks of, Garena to go and sell it to taco market, you will be shocked that cartel there, the traders, will price you down to the way that you get so angry. Because on your own, you can't sell it. Do you understand? So what we have done is to now look at agriculture as a whole and deal with the entire value chain. There are 4 challenges. One is access to land. One of the challenges you have, if I give you money now to go and farm, is even to get the land. But we have solved that problem by going to the communities and developing a model that enables you now have easy access to land. Now, the second problem is finance. We have also solved that problem by creating ways, coming up with creative ways that makes you have access to finance. The third one is technical expertise. Because on your own, even if you have the money to go and farm, without experts, but the problem is that a lot of people that want to do the farming may not have the resources to engage such experts. So we have made it easy for everybody to have access to those experts at little money. Now, the fourth problem, which is the major problem, is the market. We have also created a solution for that. So what is our goal? So in collaboration with franchisees, proxy farmers, resident farmers, ag growers, technical experts, and other major stakeholders in the agricultural value chain, and that's the development company, which is the operating company that is driving the program, and other members of Adasomi and REVAAMP consortium, are through the 5 schemes of the program. There are 5 schemes. Leveraging on technology to implement the solutions created under the program that enable all adult Africans, especially unemployed youths, who we call farm-to-home agents, to participate in agriculture and agribusiness in a manner that optimally unlocks and delivers all the potential benefits in every transaction to all the participants. That's our goal. So what is our implementation plan? The program is designed to be implemented by ADC and the whole of Africa through a franchising model that entails the appointment of 1 franchise company for each country. 1 franchise company for each country. 1 sub-franchise company for each state or region. Some countries have regions. And 1 franchise cooperative society for each community within any given state or region. What it means is that when we go to Abia State, every community in Abia State will have a franchise cooperative. What are we doing? What we're doing is that the elite of each community will come together, because people are getting worried. How do we deal with our youth unemployment? But they don't have the idea. So what we have brought is a solution. So the elite of the community will come together and they take the franchise of this program for that community. What it means is that they rely on all the things we have developed, all the back-end systems, all the governance systems, all our application to now drive the program within the community. That's just what it is. If you go to your community as you speak, each and every one of you, people are just doing their own. Everybody is farming and building. So what we are bringing is a governance system that makes it easier for everybody. Because right now, the traders just go to your community, park their truck, and price down the traders. the farmers, because the farmers are desperate, so they buy it at little or nothing. So at the end of the day, they are still poor. So we have developed a system that gives the farmers more value for their produce. So what we have designed is a system that takes the produce from the farmers directly to the consumers and eliminating those middlemen. So that way, the consumer is getting it cheaper and the farmer is making more money. That's basically, part of what we have done. Now, projected number of participants per state. When fully operational in a territory, it is projected to engage a minimum of 200,000 persons as participants under the 5 schemes of the program, namely, Adasori Farm Estate Scheme, Adasori Agro Scheme, Adasori Food Cost Scheme, Adasori Premium Discount Scheme, and the Hectare by Hectare Volunteering Scheme. You will see how all this plays. What are the enablers? Our robust legal framework, because for you to do this, you need the legal framework that connects everybody. You can liken what we are doing to the internet. Internet is information superhighway, and people are plugging from everywhere. But what you people are seeing is the front end. You don't know that behind that thing you're seeing, there's a whole lot behind. So that's what we have done. We have used agreements to connect every participant, policies and guidelines. You can see, so 36 fit for purpose agreements, critical transaction documents, 1 promotional book. The book, we have a book published for this, operational policies and guidelines, 6 purpose-built software applications, 14 key market penetration tools, and logistics services. We have our own logistics company, just like we have both. We have our own logistics application. But I will explain to you how our own works. It's a totally different model. So the summary and key highlights of the program: to create unique avenues for all adult Africans to partake in agriculture and agribusiness, to promote wealth creation and poverty reduction through agribusiness, to promote employment and financial inclusion, to provide end-to-end solution for all types of transactions within agricultural value chain, to provide the risk opportunities for everyone to earn from agriculture and agribusiness. The risks. So de-risking it, removing all the risks. To provide access to additional revenue for hosts, so participating communities, local government councils and state governments. But providing additional revenue for local government, state or participant, communities. To promote environmental protection, community policing, and crime reduction. To promote a culture of volunteering among African citizens. To provide general public awareness and value orientation. Now, this is a farm estate scheme. So the program is divided into 3 different categories. There's the upstream, just like the oil industry. There's the midstream and the downstream. You will see the farm estate scheme is upstream, which means the actual farming. So this scheme was conceptualized and designed to fast-tracking the development of farm estates all over Africa based on offtake guarantee for primary or secondary offtakers. I will explain what primary and secondary offtakers are. The Hectare by Hectare unique partnership model guarantees hectare by hectare team easy access to land anywhere in Africa on any large scale, on any required large scale. What we have done. So we start with offtake, primary or secondary offtakers. Let me give you a typical example. As I speak with you, in Enugu State, there's a marketing company owned by Enugu State government. It's like a marketing board. That's what they're set up to do. They approach Nigerian breweries and say, look, you're operating in our state, and you use a lot of sorghum. You know what they used to brew beer. Let us farm this thing for you. Let us supply it to you. But they did that they went to Nigerian breweries on the basis of the understanding we have with them, because they know we can now help to do the farming. So now Nigerian brewery says, very well. So the company has gotten back to us. So we are partnering with them to now create, this produce for Nigerian breweries. So first of all, we are going through agreements now to speak. So that's what I mean by primary and secondary off-taker. So in this case, that Enugu State Marketing Company is a primary off-taker. We're going to farm the sorghum that they are giving to Nigerian breweries, which is the secondary off-taker. So there must be the market. You see, when I was talking, when I started, I said market is the key. So you can see there's now a market. So because what people are doing is farming blindly. You just go and farm. An older friend of mine told me a story of a former deputy governor who went and farmed cassava. And when he harvested, he loaded it in about 7 trucks based on a conversation I had with some traders in Asaba. By the time he loaded it from others, when he got there, the way they even called the man, you know how traders behave. And saying, they are looking at the price is changing. You know how they behave. By the time they finished with the man, he got so angry that he decided to take back the cassava with the truck he has paid for, because there was no serious agreement and documentation of the prices. So what we have developed is a special agreement that makes sure that before we go to do any farming, you have already taken positions, you have given us guarantee of payment, we use insurance, indemnity clauses and all that. So if you tell any story along the line, you incur losses. That is the off-taker. So now, based on what we are working out with Nigerian breweries, we can now go between us and the marketing company, get whatever amount of land that is required to farm that quantity they are looking for. Because they're going to say every quarter, we want so metric tons of whatever. So that way, the transaction becomes bankable. Do you people know what bankability means? When I say bankable, I am not just talking about a bank. I am saying it makes it interesting for you to participate without any risk. You understand? But when we tell you that we're going to do farming somewhere and we don't have a buyer, you're taking a risk. After the harvest, we are now looking for buying, which is what a lot of people have gone through. So now, the unique partnership model guarantees hectare by hectare easy access to land anywhere in Africa on any required land scale. What do I mean by that? What is our template? We don't buy land, we don't lease it, we come to your community. In fact, based on our template, almost communities are calling us to come and take land. Communities are afraid of government. Under our model, under the normal way government takes their land, once government takes your land, they've taken it forever. But in our model, the community still owns the land. All we do is, okay, we need 5,000 hectares. We do the survey and plan it into a farm estate. 1 hectare here, 1 hectare, road network, everything. So that is what we mean. And you will see how much the communities benefit. That's why they all want, because we're doing it, everybody is benefiting. So what are the key features? Unique funding model provides easy access to required land for required funds. What is our unique funding model? So when we divide it into 5,000 lots, people like you here are proxy farmers. So we say 1 lot will cost 1 million to farm. Now, the biggest cost of farming is land clearing. The moment you do the land clearing the first year, everything becomes easy. It's now level and the inputs, right? So we say it will cost 1 million to do each hectare. Now, you people, based on the cost and the return on investment that will come to you for maybe 10 or 15 years, because the community will give you a farming right over that portion you've taken. You have your document. Whether it is in Tanzania or anywhere, you don't have to be there physically. You're a proxy farmer. So we got that inspiration from what has always been practiced in every African society of farming by proxy. During farming season, people send money back home, others will do the farming, and there are ways of sharing the process. That's where that inspiration came from. But the difference is that we have now put legal framework around it, so that you can stay here and own a farm lot in a farm estate in Tanzania, and you still get your return. So what will now happen when we now, share the information to all the people on our platform? Because as you subscribe to the app, as you register, it becomes a community. Any project that we have, we just share it. It will reach thousands of people. You see it on your dashboard. That so project will give you the features, how much you need to invest, how much is your return, everything. Now, what is unique about what we have done is that, yes, the cost of for investment per lot is 1 million. We don't want you to give us that your 1 million. You're required to put that your money in your savings account, and the bank will be paying you interest on that. All you're doing is to now authorize us to borrow money on your behalf on the strength of that your 1 million and farm that your lot for you. So that way we are unlocking money from everybody's pocket. So by the time we farm the first cycle, the produce comes out, the bank, the Nigerian breweries will pay direct to the bank. The bank will withhold money to farm the next cycle. So assuming they pay comes out is about 5 tons, and there's an inflow of 1.5 million or 1.8 million, whatever it is, the bank will withhold money to farm the next cycle. It will now be smaller money. They will withhold part of the interest, part of the loan repayment, and the balance of the money becomes profit. By the time we farm 3 or 4 or 5 cycles, the whole loan is repaid. You can take back that your money, they lift the lien on your money. Do you know what is a lien? When you use your money to borrow as a collateral, the bank will place a lien. You can't withdraw from that money. But for you, how much is the bank paying you interest? Now, this will give you a whole lot of money. You have used what you have to create more wealth. That's why we say wealth creation. Now, so what does the community get? What is making the community excited? Now, for bringing their land, the community gets 5% of gross as rent. So if what comes out is 1.5 million, the community is getting 5%, which is like 75,000 per lot. You must remove that first. Bank will know all that. They have the schedule of who owns what before you arrive at the profit. Then, because we felt that when you come to a community, not all the families will be part of the land ownership. We created another 5% profit for the community as community development fee. So they can use it to give scholarship, they can use it to do things in the community. And yet the land is their own. Isn't it amazing? Is there any community that will say no? Now, what is interesting again is that when we subdivide, just like a housing estate, the difference is that there are no houses, now farm lots. We have what we call resident farmers who are farm to home agents, right? Our policy is that every 5 hectares will be managed by one resident farmer. Maintained, not even the farming. It's after the mechanized farming we're going to do, he now kicks in. He is responsible for 5 hectares with his laborers. And he gets 10% of profit for each of those 5 lots. So what you're looking at, we're solving the unemployment problem. When a young man that is in Abuja here doing nothing, and you create this in his community, what will he be doing? All we need to teach him are the basic extension services, and he is responsible for 5 hectares. Make sure the water, the irrigation system works, everything works on those 5 hectares, the weeding and all that. And you get 10% of profit. Now, the traditional ruler of the community gets 2% of profit. Now, the youth again get 2.5% of profit as security fee. Now, we are working with civil defense, they get 2.5% as security fee again. Now, you, the process farmer, get 50% of the profit. Don't forget that your money is still intact in the bank. But your money enabled the raising of funds. You see, we're operating on the premise that there are more Nigerians who want 1 million than those with 20 million. So if you have 5,000 lots, that's 5 billion. At one way, you can raise 5 billion with ease because there is no single obligor. Do you understand? So the collateral is on the 1 million. But how are we de-risking? The money goes to the project account. So who will do the land clearing? You subdivide it. One person cannot clear 5,000 hectares, no. So you have different contractors. Okay, you take this session. Go and bring us an advance payment guarantee from your bank. You see the de-risking. You bring advance payment guarantee from your bank, you're paid, and you do your clearing. That's the same process of even the farming, everything. So you can see how the risk is removed. Now, the moment you do the farming, the next thing is insurance. So we have to, so when we say the risk opportunity, that's what we mean. There are 2 major policies that we have sat down with NAIC to restructure. They had the existing policies that we sat down with them. One is special perils insurance, which means that assuming we farm the place and there's a natural disaster, the insurance will kick in and provide a capital for the next farming, but you will not make profit. Now, that is one policy. Another policy, assuming, because everything that we farm will ensure the minimum yield. So if the maximum yield is 7 tons per hectare, we will choose a minimum yield like 5 tons and ensure it. What it means is that if there is a harvest and we get 4.8 tons, insurance puts in the balance. Are you getting the? So you can see we have secured the whole thing back to back. Because the worst thing that can happen, okay, natural disaster, we've solved it. Lower yield, we have solved it. So when we are calculating the projections, it is based on the minimum yield, not the maximum. So if you now get 6 tons or 7 tons, that becomes extra income. But there must be 5 tons. And if you notice, what is interesting in our policy, we are not telling you that you're going to make 1.5 million. No. We use scientific calculations. It will yield 5 tons. Whatever the amount is at the time of harvest is what it is. But you see, when I saw a whole lot of companies, all the you don't know whether to call them fintech, agri, they say 35% per return. It doesn't work. How did you know it's 35%? Do you get the point I'm making? It's not possible. That's why a whole lot of people lost so much money. When I went to Bracket, I went to another, he was telling us is handling too many cases in billions. Because there was no foundation. You tell somebody you have 35% return on your money, that's financing. It's no longer agribusiness. But we are telling you your yield per lot is 5 tons and is insured. I don't know if you have it, you know the distinction between saying that it's 5 tons and it's going to be 1.5 million. Do you know the distinction? I don't know if people are following. There's a clear distinction. If I say it's 35% return on your investment, it means it has to be 35% of 1 million. I've said that. And I have to keep to it. At the due date, I'll pay you. But what I'll tell you, it is 5 tons guaranteed. Insurance is there to back it up. So it may get to that 5 tons, may even be more than that 35% per annum. But I don't know what it is. It's what the market says. That's what it is. You see, this is more like it. Because if you tell me that it was enough to keep anybody that is smart to query what they are doing. But you know, most Nigerians don't even think. They just go, oh, they pay me this. Just like MMM, they just put money and it. So engagement of idle youth in any participating community as resident farmers, revenue to host communities, local government and state. You see, we are paying local government for ground rent. Each farm lot, there's a ground rent to local government. So we have covered everybody. Each farm lot, there's a payment to state government. We created education and health fund for the state government. Can you imagine how much we're bringing to the state? Now, additional revenue to landowners, those through participating communities, local government and state government, through the voluntary carbon market. There's another huge opportunity. Have you heard of the carbon market? You've not heard of it? You don't know what the United Nations is doing? Carbon credit, you've never heard of carbon credit? You see why we said value, reorientation, general public awareness. So there's so much money the United Nations have created that you're not aware. You know, the Bible, I tell people I read the Bible not because I want to go to heaven, but it has so much knowledge. Most people read it, they want to go to heaven because they are scared. You're scared of it, everything tell you. But I read that Bible is your template for life. Read it for the knowledge. Everything is in the Bible. Knowledge. You see, I tell you, a lot of people are carrying gadgets. That is worth so much money. That they are not using the information. That your phone is like a university. It has everything. The United Nations, just for carbon, for environmental, what do they call it now? The name for it. Climate change. Because of climate change, in a bid to reduce those who are polluting the environment, are now encouraging people to do things that will enhance the environment rather than polluting. Things like when you use sustainable power, like solar, or plant more trees, you're injecting so much in the environment. Now, they created a carbon market. So for the companies that are polluting the environment that are already there, there's nothing they can do about it. They now tax them. Do you get it? They buy, they create, now set up a credit. So those of us that are planting trees, there's an amount that is paid per tree. It's huge. What I'm telling you is the biggest. Why do you think that people that came back from that is they set up environmentalism? Just follow what is going on. That's what is trending in the world. So because of the farming space we're doing, we are now, there's additional revenue from this carbon credit. per tree. One tree could be about $3. There's a way they price it. So imagine that you have palm trees in your community, is making money, you're harvesting, and yes, there's a carbon credit that is coming to the community. So now I've finished dealing with the farm estate scheme, right? So this is the agro scheme. It's still upstream because it's farming proper. Now this scheme was designed to incorporate existing farms and agrowers into the hectare by hectare program. You know, there are already farms that exist. There are, local people that are farming. So this scheme, we designed it to incorporate all those people. Under the scheme, we leverage on hectare by hectare community franchise cooperative societies, sub-aggregators, agrowers cooperatives, community warehousing partners, and primary off-takers to boost offtake of food and agricultural produce from our agrowers in rural communities, thereby providing them greater and seamless access to market for their farm produce. You know, I talked about community franchise cooperative. This is the role they play. It's like a commodity exchange. They set up a produce, collection center. So it starts by one person from your community. Where are you from? Eh? Where is that? Okay. Where is that? So Bakala or Ibega, can you see? I guess right. I just went straight. Eh? So Bakala, you can be the promoter for your community. You can be the franchise promoter. You go, by the time you understand the thing, you go and call a meeting of your people. They are here in Abuja. You go to your meeting and say, look at how we can help create employment in our community. We should form a hectare by hectare franchise cooperative. The first one is in my community in Arotu. The elite, because your people are worried, how do we take care of the youth? Some of you don't go home. So this is how to take care of the youth. You first of all form that cooperative. And working with us will give you the systems that will set up. You're plugging into our value chain. Do you understand? And then you register those farmers under you. They are all doing their thing. So you now create a governance system. If you think about it, look at the federal government, look at the state government, look at the local government. Look at the community. You can see the whole system. That's what we have. So we have now developed the governance system, the systems. See, if you look at the oil industry, government has spent time over the years to organize it. Do you know that with just a plain sheet of paper that somebody will sign, it becomes money from NNBC? Do you understand what I'm saying? You're lifting crude and all that. There's a system. People design that system. That's what we are doing. So with this thing we are doing, we are creating a system in your community that will enable me, while in Abuja here, to offtake produce from your community without knowing those your local farmers. Because there's a governance system in place. Are you getting the picture? So what we are doing with our software, with all the policies that is to manage the back end for everybody. Do you understand? So we have set up the guidelines and policies the way things run. So now we look at the key features. Franchise office to produce registration data in every community within Africa. So because when you set up that cooperative, it will lead you to set up a produce center, right? Now that produce center is where provide some service to everybody that is participating. Now, unique community warehousing system that enables uptake of farm produce from local. Now, in your community, there will now be people who are rendering warehousing services based on our template. I will tell you how they are part of how they make things happen. Now, hectare by hectare cluster farming system enables the aggregation and integration of small parcels of land. Some communities don't have large expanse. When you go to Bakalam, I have 20 hectares here, 15 hectares here. So this our cluster farming system. We have designed it to now integrate small farms that may end up giving you 5,000 hectares. Are you getting it? So there's land everywhere. There's land everywhere. You can farm on your both sides of your road, your stream, the road to your stream. Talk on that REVAAMP, just a bit, part of so that we can go and conclude. If you can pull it up. So basically, we have created a local mortgage system. Because the mortgage system of Federal Mortgage Bank is not working. So we created our own. So most people will never own property. That's real estate. But with what we are doing, everybody can own real estate. So if you belong to a cooperative, so with your 100,000 or what, you own a fractional interest in a property. Like this property here can be owned by 300 people or 400 people. If the rent in a year is 20 million, it is shared to everybody in accordance to your interest. Do you understand? Now, that is secondary title solution. Can you play the video so that they can hear?
Real estate value aggregation and maximization program, REVAAMP, is a program that was designed and developed by a seasoned lawyer with more than 3 decades of experience in real estate law and investment. The program, through its 16 schemes, supported by several fit-for-purpose agreements, several ancillary agreements, guidelines, policies, and several transaction documents, was developed to achieve the following objectives: to create greater awareness for the National Housing Fund of Nigeria and other African countries, to enlarge the number of beneficiaries and contributors to housing funds across Africa, to create a level playing ground for all adult Africans to participate in real estate business, to provide easy access to capital for real estate financing across Africa, to provide end-to-end solutions for all types of transactions within the real estate value chain across Africa, to promote employment, wealth creation, financial inclusion, and poverty reduction through real estate businesses, to provide a platform for the promotion of general public awareness and value reorientation. By virtue of a license acquired from the intellectual property owner licensor, the program is owned, promoted, and managed by REVAAMP, Real Estate Value Aggregation Company, in collaboration with various stakeholders and other members of Adasome and REVAAMP Consortium. We are leveraging on technology to connect stakeholders of the real estate value chain to participate in real estate business in a manner that optimally unlocks and delivers all the potential benefits in every transaction to all its participants. More importantly, we are through the program helping to reduce unemployment and connecting our REVAAMP business partners and REVAAMP premium agents, mostly young people across Africa, to earn income from numerous real estate forward and supply contracts created under the program. Through our REVAAMP transactions platform, thousands of young Africans can participate in the real estate business and earn sustainable income no matter where they are, once they have a smartphone or connection to the internet.
So you see exactly what we have done under the hectare by hectare. There are also forward contracts and supply contracts. What are the supply contracts? Building material supply. The same templates. Forward contracts are also hotel rooms. The same way we can go and say, you sell this, we can take your hotel rooms for several days and pay you money in advance. Are you getting the picture? If you look at this, it's a redistribution of wealth. So now, what is more interesting is the mortgage we have created. So So what it means is that you can own 2-bedroom flat, assuming it is 2-bedroom flat. Let's say it is being sold at 20 million, but right now you have only 5 million. Now, because you have created cooperatives that have a lot of cash, right? You now express interest and you're given an offer. You put down that 5 million. You will get a mortgage of 10 years. The cooperative will be the primary off-takers. You are a secondary off-taker. You're the end user, you're the one that will live in the house.